Carol and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot, and we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energy inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment, and if we want to see change, we do need to make that change within ourselves and shift and change our energy so that we can manifest the outcomes that we desire. Hopefully my readings give you the perspective you need to make these changes, and today we're going to look specifically at the divine masculine energy and the feminine energy, what they're thinking, saying, and doing toward one another, how to create harmony, and their happiness potential. Before we begin, I just want to take a moment of your time to talk to you about a personal matter that I'm going through and ask for your help. Recently, I moved from Los Angeles to the East Coast so that I could be reunited with my son in Massachusetts and hopefully find an apartment there and live with him. As you all know, the prices of apartments are extraordinarily high. The cost of living in Massachusetts is always been quite a lot, even more than a lot of other states I've lived in. So it's been very difficult for me to raise the funds that I need. We've recently had an incident that requires that I be in Massachusetts full time, and I'm going to be needing to travel there in the next few days and also pay for a place to stay. I do not have savings or any resources to do this, and so I'm really hoping that when you see these videos that you and value them, that you will offer some of your generosity, even if it's just suggesting me or recommending me to people who may want a reading or may want to study with me music, voice, piano, or music production. But anything you can do right now would be really appreciated. My son is safe. He is not in danger right now, but he does need to no longer live in the current place that he has been living. And the only way that that can happen is if I go to Massachusetts and provide a place for him to live, which is what I've been trying to do for the last 8, almost 9 months. So if you can, please today make a donation, book a reading. I'm going to be taking my tarot cards with me and everything I need, so I will still be able to do all of the normal services that I offer on my site, and every little bit helps. If you know anyone who is in family law and would be willing to donate time or advice or anything of that nature, that would also be appreciated. I have to live in the state of Massachusetts to receive assistance from the Women's Bar Association, which is probably one of the only resources that I have, but I have to have an address there in order to be able to partake in their services. So I do need to get there first. So anything you can do to help would be really appreciated. My son is 16. He's very smart, very kind, and he loves automotive design. He's been trying to get a co-op opportunity from the school that he goes to work in an auto mechanic shop. Because he's very excited to start earning money of his own. You know, he's a Capricorn rising, so he's very, very excited about that. If you know anybody, even near the Framingham area in Massachusetts, who would hire him, he would, I think anything that we could do to help him would be good. He needs a lot of emotional support and stability, and I really want to give that to him. So if you could help, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, let's get started on this reading. The first question is, what is the divine masculine thinking about the divine feminine? So let's look at the divine masculine. What is the divine masculine thinking about the divine feminine? Okay, we're getting the Chariot card and the Knight of Swords. So this divine masculine is... he's thinking that the divine feminine might be wanting to move on, move away, move forward in her life, and that it might be happening pretty fast. I think there is an awareness on the divine masculine's part that he has taken quite a long time. He has stalled movement in the relationship, and that the divine feminine in the position that she's in is likely really wanting to move on. I think that he sees the divine feminine as somebody who is in control of herself, of her life, truthful and in her integrity, swift to cut out people who don't have her best interests at heart. But I do think that he's seeing her sort of move forward or move on. And I'm getting that in some ways it's making him, it's like he's almost frozen. Like he can't move. You know, this chariot doesn't have any wheels. It's not going to move anywhere. So there's also this thought process that's like, because he has tried to maintain control of this situation, the divine feminine is rushing to cut him out of her life, or to get away from him in some way. It can also be that he is realizing, or he is thinking, that she is really wanting him to come forward to try to level up this relationship, to communicate that she desires him to communicate with her. So what is the divine feminine thinking about the divine masculine right now? So I saw the Ace of Wands and a few other cards. They didn't come out of the deck. And then I saw here the Ten of Cups. And that is really making me feel like this divine feminine is thinking a lot about the potential happiness that I'm hearing they could have had. Because there is this feeling of like, it is a strong desire. She just wants to be happy with this masculine. She wants to have a family. She thinks they still could be happy. She thinks that they could have experienced this full spectrum in their relationship. I'm hearing right now the song Colors by Beck, which is whatever, but see all the colors. Like she can see all of the, just the happiness and the excitement that could be there for them. And she's just really wanting that, desiring that very much. Seeing that Ace of Wands is showing me that it's this longing, this passionate desire that she has to be with the masculine. And I think it's very interesting that the masculine thinks the feminine just wants, you know, to like move on, cut him out. And the feminine is just like, I just want to have happiness. I want to have joy. I want to have support. I want to have a family. You know, not I just want to move on and get away from this person, but I want to be united with the divine masculine. I want to be one with the divine masculine. So I think that's an interesting dynamic between the two of them. So what is the divine masculine saying to the divine feminine? How is the divine masculine communicating with the divine feminine? So we have the Nine of Wands here, and we're seeing the divine feminine feeling isolated. There's this wall that's up. There's a victimization mentality that might be there for her. There's this deep inner healing in this card. There's exhaustion. She's tired. So really the divine masculine isn't communicating with her. He is just sort of leaving her to her own devices, isolated and alone. I think that he is also healing some of the things that are going on for him. But he's not talking. He's isolated himself, and really not communicating with her at this time, or he's feeling that she's not communicating with him, that he can't see her, that she is isolated. I'm seeing her completely vulnerable in this image, which I'm trying not to show too much, but there's also all these silhouettes here. So I feel like there's this sense that he feels the divine feminine isn't communicating, that she's hiding, her vulnerability from him. But he's not talking. He's not saying anything. Which is the problem. Divine Feminine, what is she saying to the Divine Masculine? We have the Nine of Cups. It's very interesting to have the Ten of Cups and the Nine of Cups here. These are both beautiful cards. Auspicious cards. Cards about abundance. This is spiritual fulfillment. This is, wish fulfillment. And Divine Feminine is open in this image. She's expressing everything. She's poured out her heart. But the card is also a card of withholding. So, and the fact that we're seeing a regression here, I feel like what she's saying is, I've already told you that you are my joy, that you being with you would make me very happy, that my heart is open, that I'm ready to experience communication or expression of feelings. But I'm keeping that to myself now because I've already shared it with you and it's already known. And so I'm not talking to you either because I am waiting for you to communicate with me. I've already said all that I needed to say. All right. So let's look now at what Divine Masculine is doing, how he's treating Divine Feminine. How is Divine Masculine treating Divine Feminine? Boom. There's a feminine energy with 10 swords in her back. So Divine Masculine he's doing nothing to help the feminine. He's letting her remain stuck and isolated. He's hurting her. He's wounding her. He could be betraying her in some ways. This can be a masculine energy that is choosing to prioritize other things in his life rather than her, kind of betraying his feelings for her, betraying, some of he might have made promises of some kind. But yeah, it's funny because he's stuck on the feminine energy. Like he's stuck thinking about her all the time and he's focused on the separation and he is prolonging the separation between the two of them. What is Divine Feminine doing to the masculine right now? How is she treating the masculine energy? Oops, wrong deck. I am going to take that card though, the Ace of Cups, but I'm going to shuffle the correct deck, but that is holding that cup of love for him, offering her love, but let me get the right deck. Wow. She's holding her love for him, but she's just focused on this horizon, going towards a better shore, going towards her higher calling. I think she's holding out this hope that he will return, but she is going her own way. You can go your own way. Definitely hearing that. So it's interesting that cup of love came out because it's like she is holding on to the love from the masculine because this is the masculine deck. So she's holding on to the fact that she knows that he loves her. And there's this feeling of like, it's too bad. It's too bad that I know that he has these feelings for me. But doesn't give them. And because of that, I just have to keep walking. Sorry for the interruption. But yes, because of the fact that you have these feelings and you don't share them, I have to keep going. Even though I really see you as my wish fulfillment, I see that we could have been very happy. There's a feeling of just having to move on from that at this time. So what is the advice on how to create more harmony between what the Divine Masculine is thinking, saying, and doing? How can the Divine Masculine create more harmony in this situation? We're getting the Queen of Wands here, which is the energy of the divine feminine. So this is about the masculine tuning into his emotions. The Queen of Wands is very confident. She has a vision and she boldly goes after that vision. It's 111 when I'm saying this right now. So the advice to the masculine is to recognize, first of all, the divinity of the feminine. Recognize that he truly desires her, that he's very attracted to her, that she is magnetic, and that she pulls him in. Recognize that that same energy is within himself. That he needs to have that confidence and that boldness and that vision that the divine feminine has. To know that if he continues to prolong the separation, that he is losing something truly divine. Simply Divine. It's a song I wrote a few years back. All right, let's take a look now. How does the divine feminine create more harmony between what she is thinking, saying, and doing? How can she create more harmony between what she is thinking, saying, and doing towards the masculine? All right, we are getting the Seven of Cups right now. The Seven of Cups is an energy of having a lot of options, having a lot of opportunities, a lot of directions that you could go, knowing that there might be a lot of different things that can capture your attention, but there is only one solid option. For me, this is believing that the most solid option right now is to choose herself. We're seeing a picture here of a masculine who can't make up his mind. He can't make a decision. He has treated divine feminine like an option instead of a priority. And the reason for that is because the divine feminine has not prioritized herself. She has done the same thing. She has not chosen to believe in herself, in her stability, in the fact that she is a solid option. And as you start choosing yourself, as the feminine energy starts choosing to value and honor or respect her emotions, her passions, her creativity, she's going to see a clear path. And it will take her where she needs to go, which is going to bring her this fulfillment. Her fulfillment is going to come from herself. It's not going to come from the divine masculine choosing her. So really getting a strong sense that it is up to you to find your worth, your value, to value yourself enough to walk away, even if you hold love for somebody, even if you know they hold feelings for you. If they are unable to take decisive action, your being able to take decisive action for yourself is going to fulfill your dreams and your own wishes. And it's hard because I do sense this whimsical feeling coming from the feminine. I wish this could work out. I just wish we could be together. I know that we would be happy. It's clear that the divine feminine would find happiness in this emotional connection, emotional bond with this masculine. And the divine masculine, it's clear that he's really suffering and struggling with what he has put his feminine through, his emotional side of self, and the feminine energy as manifested outside of self. So he is at this end stage. We have this 9 and this 10, this completion energy. So he has got to make that choice to stop holding his love hostage and allow himself to fully express as the feminine has done. All right, let's take a look now at the happiness potential between the two of them. What is the happiness potential right now in this current connection, divine masculine and feminine energy? All right, I'm going to take it all because it all came out. All right, we have for the masculine side, we've got the 2 of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Star, and the Page of Wands. This is a lot of stuff, okay? So this is the potential for happiness, basically how the masculine can achieve happiness from his perspective. And let's look at divine feminine, What's the potential happiness here? Oh my God. Okay, so a lot of stuff just came out. We got the Lovers, the Ace of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Four of Swords. Okay, so let's look at this individually here. So the happiness potential from the masculine is going to come from his ability to make a decision, to stop going back and forth in his mind, to stop doing this dance or playing this game, to get out of that imbalanced energy and make a choice or a decision, which we saw he's having trouble doing, to honor this specific feminine energy as the nurturer, the creator, the abundance, the wife, to make an offer to this divine feminine who he knows to be worthy and valuable, who makes him feel so vulnerable, who he really wants to be with, and to really strike up a communication, a conversation with her, and make a choice to initiate and to explore this connection, to trust in this hope, and to make his wish come true. So if he wants to be happy, he has to make some kind of a decision to initiate communication with this feminine energy and to heal whatever has been preventing him from making this offer, which he clearly does want to make. Divine feminine's potential happiness comes from, we see this a decision or choice as well for her. We see the Ace of Pentacles, we see the Six of Pentacles, we see the Hierophant, and we see the Four of Swords. So this is a choice that she knows her worthiness and her value, that she will not accept breadcrumbs, that she has learned her lesson and is committed to her healing of the heart and has faith. This is faith and commitment here. Has the faith and commitment to know that the person who is the right person for her to offer her love in the way that she is meant to receive it, the right person for her will show up with an offer that is a match to her own, that will be generous, they will be ascended, they will be spiritually healed, and she has the potential to be happiness if she chooses someone who has all of this together. If the divine masculine can make that decision to heal, then he will be able to initiate this connection and there will be a lot of happiness between them. So it's up to them both to choose themselves, to choose their heart, what their heart is telling them. And I love that energy. So let's get some final advice for masculine and feminine here. We're going to pull a card from the Prism Oracle for each one of them. For the masculine first, we're having frustration here. So we're going to look at frustration energy for him. And for the feminine, okay, we'll take it both. We're having anger and flow here. So this is interesting to me. Frustration and anger, similar things going on. But first, let's look at the masculine's frustration. For some reason, despite all your best efforts, you aren't able to achieve what you're working toward, and that's frustrating. Instead of getting angry or disappointed, take a step back or a break from whatever is going on. What are some alternative approaches to this situation? Is there a solution that you haven't tried yet? Would a new perspective help you find a solution? So divine masculine, you might be very frustrated by the dynamics in the situation. You might even feel a bit angry about how things have played out. In anger with yourself, anger at your external circumstances that you may view as preventing you from doing what you want to do. But you're being asked here to look at alternative solutions and gaining some new perspective on the situation might help you to find the path. Divine feminine, we've got anger and flow. So the anger card represents an acknowledgement that anger is a natural part of life. It is okay to feel angry. But what can you do with the immense amount of energy that comes with it? How can you transform anger into something helpful for yourself and others? And then we're seeing flow here. And I love how that blue energy is coming in to cleanse, to quell the fire. So we have the water that's going to put out the fire here. And it says, the name aquamarine is derived from the two Latin words aqua and marina, meaning seawater. This card is about going with the flow, changing and adapting to a situation rather than fighting against it. It's important to keep in mind that currents can be very strong and water always gets to where it wants to go, slowly carving away stone as it flows by. Oh my God. Let this thought guide you on your journey and let the water carry you where you need to go. This is so significant to me. Last night I had a dream. I don't remember all of the elements of the dream. 122 as I'm saying this. But I was next to a strange body of water. It kind of was like the LA River because it had like cement bank, like a cement bank along the side. And it's interesting because it says carving away stone as it flows by. So there was this stone or cement embankment and there was water. And I was with someone, I was with a masculine energy, and that person had this book. And he dropped the book into the water. He suddenly had to go. He had to go somewhere. He had to go to work. And so he needed to get up and leave really quickly. And I said I would take in the whatever we had outside. I don't remember. But one of the things we had was this book. And when he got up from this chair, the book fell into the water. And he had already left. And so I went to reach into the water to get the book. And the book is like information, right? It's like something I need to know. And I was also concerned about it. I was like, oh no, it's going to, it's going to be ruined. This book is going to be ruined. So I took it out of the water and I set it down and I was like flipping through the pages, like trying to think of how I could get it to dry out or be okay so that it could still be usable. And as this was happening, I noticed that there were these people approaching me, but I realized that I was naked, which is a sign of vulnerability. And I didn't want to be seen in this state, so I jumped into the water. I figured the water would hide me. But once I got into the water, the current was very strong and it started to take me downstream away from the place where I was. And so I swam over to the side and grabbed onto the cement wall. And there were some other things that happened, but I pulled myself along this rock embankment to try to get to where I had been before. And I was swimming against the current. I tried both swimming and I had to pull myself. I needed that to hold on to something as I went back to where I was. I was able to get out. I was able to find clothes. I was able to go back to the place where I had started. And it was just a very significant dream. So the fact that this is coming up and also what I went through last night did cause me a certain amount of anger that at myself, frustration at myself, that I wasn't able to provide stability for my son, that my son had to face this angry person who takes out his anger on him, that he was in this situation that was really precarious and serious, and that I was stuck here and couldn't do anything about it. So just really significant imagery coming up for me, from my divine feminine perspective, but what a beautiful thing. So changing and adapting to the situation rather than fighting against it with anger. Keeping in mind that the currents can be very strong and water always gets to where it wants to go. And so divine feminine, just, it's okay to feel angry, letting that anger flow through you. Know that your anger is sort of functioning as, it's like a motivator, but it is kind of blocking you emotionally, that eventually those emotions are going to overcome, this anger, and you are going to get to where you need to go. So try not to hold too much anger at this person for not making this choice that you expected them to make. And just know that you are going right where you need to go. You're flowing right where you need to go. Um, let's get an animal spirit message for the divine masculine. We're getting learn from the past. I'm going to pull the divine feminine card too, and then put the deck down. We're getting spirit has a plan. I literally said that so many times today. The divine plan, the divine plan. Okay, learn from the past, the protection message of elephant spirit. This is number 25. Divine masculine, are you feeling uncomfortable with a tradition, custom, or familiar behavior that no longer fits who you are? Do you wish the past could be erased so it could no longer cause you a moment's pain? Elephant spirit is here to encourage you to write a different story and alter the traditions in ways that acknowledge that we all evolve, for transformation is our nature. Elephant spirit calls you to not be selective in your memory, because ignoring the good or the bad will prevent you from growing your wisdom and strength. Build on the best of the past, learn from the worst, and walk into the future with dignity, accompanied by elephant spirit, who remembers the truth and honors your strength and wisdom. Divine feminine spirit has a plan, number 35. And it is the protection message, and it says, are you feeling uneasy and mistrustful of the world? Have you been hiding in a safe spot? Which is what I was doing, right? I jumped into the water to hide. Afraid to venture out because you're convinced that life and other people will disappoint you. Koala spirit has appeared to let you know that your faith is misplaced. The present safety you seek is already passing away, because all things are temporary and outer conditions are always changing. Find your safety by placing your faith and trust in spirit, who will grow the abundance that is already yours. Perhaps you are acting slowly and overly cautiously because you lack faith that there is more for you out there than what you know. You may have boxed yourself into a safe place that has nothing else to give you and become so familiar with it that you have forgotten to explore. Are you feeling pessimistic and convinced there is nothing more out there for you? Koala spirit reminds you that self-care is meant to replenish you so that you can venture out again in faith, trusting that there is no limit to the joy spirit wants you to experience. Be good to yourself and reconnect with spirit to reclaim your faith in things yet unseen. Wow, divine feminine. So your self-care card today is going to be very important. But before we get there, let's get the wisdom of the oracle message for each masculine and feminine energy. What is the message for the masculine, please, today? What is the message for the masculine, please? We are getting higher power for the masculine energy. And for the feminine, please, mending. So that tracks. So for divine masculine, the higher power card, this is number 4. This is also Emperor energy, stepping into your power, stepping into your worthiness. And the message for relationship is, it is time to address how much effort you give to your relationship with your higher power, called God, Goddess, Spirit, or any other name that is sacred and holy. Recognize that your partnership with Spirit is your number 1 priority. The appearance of this card also indicates that there is a deep spiritual bond between you and another person who is essential to your growth and evolution. Tend to your spiritual connections and remain aware of your true nature. Wow, divine masculine. I hope you heard that loud and clear. 52. Divine feminine, mending, relationship message is, you have come to a place where forgiveness is necessary to move forward. Separate or together, you and the other person are still experiencing the effects of a hurt that is impacting everything you do, even if you're not aware of it. The energy needs to clear. What must you do to bridge this gap? Closing your heart is not the answer. You have the power to heal this wound. Ask yourself, what would love do? Only good will come of forgiveness and an honest redress. So that anger and flow requires this mending. Know that everything the masculine has done has been part of Spirit's plan. Spirit has a plan card came out for you. You can trust, you can open your heart, but you have to forgive what has happened in order to move into this next phase of your life. You have to forgive yourself for making the choices you've made. You have to forgive your feelings towards spirit, source, your higher self, whatever it is. And you have to forgive this feelings of anger that you may be holding towards the masculine for not having made a choice or decision to be with you sooner. Okay, self-care for each of you. Self-care for the divine masculine. Self-care for the divine masculine. Self-care for the divine masculine, please. Self-care for the divine masculine. That's funny because I saw that card. So we have create art for the divine masculine. I think that came out yesterday. And for the divine feminine, self-care for the divine feminine. Self-care for the divine feminine. Massage. Oh my God, I would be so excited to get a massage. Let me just tell you what. All right, so create art. Oops, wrong book. Divine masculine, this is your self-care. This is what you are required to do today to help yourself. Remember, you are both masculine and feminine, so both of these self-care activities will help you today. Your mantra is, I am an artist, creating a masterpiece that is my life. The journal prompt that you should explore is, what blocks, real or imagined, stop you from making art? What practical steps can you take to work through these blocks? That is a very significant question. Whatever is stopping you from making art, that's stopping you from pursuing your feminine creativity, your feminine energy. Whatever blocks you perceive are stopping you from making art, and this can be music, it can be writing, it can be dance. You know, art is infinite, in my opinion. Whatever's stopping you from being creative right now, or whatever excuses, real or imagined, that you put up, identify those things. For me, a lot of the time, it's money, opportunity, time, resources, materials, the space I'm in. A lot of times I'm like, this space isn't good for me to make art. I don't have room. I don't have a comfortable chair. I mean, there's literally a lot of really silly things. Identify them. And then I want you to choose one of those things and answer, what practical steps can I take to work through that block right now? The divine masculine pursuing a feminine energy, for me, doing this activity of identifying what stops you from being creative in your life, I would also ask yourself, what perceived blocks are stopping me from reaching out to the feminine energy to have an emotional bond or connection? And what practical steps can I take to work through those blocks? And I would use the art in your life as an example of some of the tiny, insignificant, and not real excuses that we have for not making art. And then apply that to your actual pursuit of a connection, of a romantic connection. Divine Feminine, we're going to read your whole card today because I've never got this one before. This is the massage card, number 34. Oh my God, I would be so happy to get a massage. Your mantra is, I am fully relaxed and feel peaceful in my body. Bodies love to be touched. Massages are a vital part of self-care because most people live with some amount of discomfort. Sometimes specific places in our bodies scream out for attention through pain, while others make more subtle requests through stiffness and limited mobility. Before you start a massage, scan your body from head to toe. Feel into the areas where you're holding tension. Set the intention of releasing your physical and emotional discomfort during the massage. If it is within your budget, book a massage with a professional as a royal treat for yourself. Alternatively, create a relaxing space at home with subtle lighting, aromatherapy, and candles, and by setting an intention. Massage your hands and feet, exploring reflexology techniques or your own intuitive movements. You can also ask a loved one if they'd like to exchange massages with you. Remain mindful throughout the process and see what comes up for you on a physical, emotional, and spiritual level as you give and receive the gift of touch. Using your own body for a massage is effective. There are certain yoga poses when you're on your back and you bring your knees up to your chin, or you go into child pose where you can massage your back in different ways. Foam rollers, very helpful. You can also utilize that right now. Creating a spa environment is helpful. There is a guided virtual retreat available on my site if that's one of the ways you want to contribute to help me financially this month. Purchasing that retreat and following the interactive schedule either alone or with a group of friends is one really great way to create that spa environment, that relaxation within your own home. And it's only $33 to purchase that. And you can see that in my Tuned In Tarot link. Your journal prompt is, what part of your body needs a massage right now? Oh my God, what part doesn't need a massage? This is my question. Oh, my shoulders, my neck, my low back, like everything. I just need physical touch, period. Like the only physical touch I get is like the occasional hug from a family member here, which is kind of rare. I feel like since COVID, none of us have been very touchy-feely, even though I grew up with a lot of affection. Bowie is my only physical affection. She does give it to me, but it's definitely on her terms. She's like a cat dog. So I hope these messages really helped you. I want to thank anybody in advance who is sending donations to me. It is so appreciated and so helpful. And I will say, please continue to share my channel, to tell your friends about my work that I do. Consider working one-on-one with me. I definitely have a lot of insight and I can offer you a lot of help, and I am ready and willing and able to do that work. So anything that you can do to help right now is so appreciated. I shall see you. I may still be doing the live with Luna tomorrow at 11 a.m. Because of the winter weather, I may not be able to travel until Monday. So if that is the case, I will see you tomorrow. If not, I will see you on Monday for the collective tune-in here. My schedule may be a little bit up in the air, but I should be able to get the reading done and post it at some point. So hopefully I will see you then. Take care, everybody.